Which Superman is better? The 2013 Man of Steel Superman or the 2025 Superman directed by James Gunn? So what this breaks down to is like how the movies are done, basically. And so I could tell you, without a doubt, the 2025 Superman is better. I know, it might offend some people, but it was 100% better. And the reason I say that is because Man of Steel lacked a certain narrative. Like, it didn't have a narrative. It felt like all the other characters did not matter besides Superman. Like, it was just focused on Superman. But in the Superman movie, I was talking about Man of Steel, but in the Superman movie in 2025, you get so much character development. You get to see every character develop and, like, their story, basically. So you see Superman's relationship with his parents, his relationship with Lois Lane. You get to see Lois Lane's coworkers. You even get to see Lex Luthor's, like, development. He doesn't really develop. He's a stagnant character, but you get to see him a lot. And something I really like about the Superman movie is it had a narrative. It had a motive of making the movie. Now, I don't know if this had anything to do with, like, real life. Like, I don't know. But it had a good narrative. And that narrative was to be kind. That's a great narrative. And that Superman was focused about saving every single life he could. Like, I don't think a single person died besides, like, that. Or like the clone Superman. So I guess a couple people died, but it was like bad people. And this is in contrast to Man of Steel, where an entire city was pretty much leveled. Like, half the city is gone. And it's different because in Superman, like, that kind of happens, but they evacuate everyone. And, like, no one really, like, dies. Which I did like. You know, death isn't something... I don't get bothered by, like, death in movies. It's something that happens. You know, it's bad. It's a superhero movie. People do die. But it's like, what kind of a Superman do you want? Do you want a Superman that's... his only goal is to beat the bad guy? Or do you want a Superman that's his only goal is to save you? They showed a little bit of that at the end of Man of Steel. So in the climax of the fight, I'm skipping over the whole movie. The climax of the fight, the end of the fight, Superman is like chokeholding this guy. I forget his name is like Creed or something. And yeah, characters are so forgettable. He's like, he's got him right here. And this guy is like shooting lasers out of his eyes and he's about to hit a family. And Superman lashes out. He's like, no! And cracks his neck. And that was the climax of the fight. You know, that was not a bad final fight. I thought it was pretty good. But it was like Invincible level getting beat up to like, it was like Invincible in Conquest. I guess that's a good comparison because it's like he only won when he got mad. After letting so many people die, he only won when he got mad. And at the end of Superman, you know, the final fight, he's like fighting his clone. Probably should just spoiler one at the start. This is just spoiler one, even though I've done spoilers and the movie's been out for... That movie's been out for like 10 years. 12 years. And this other movie's been out for like a year. So, I don't think spoiler one is needed, but just in case. And at the end of Superman, he's like doubting himself, and he realizes Lex Luthor is watching his every move, and he knows how to predict every move. So he makes it to where he can stop predicting his move. And he outsmarts Lex Luthor. He outsmarts the smartest man on Earth. And at the end of the movie, Lex is like, "You're an alien," and he goes, I'm just as human as any of you."
Piece of shit. Alien! That is where you've always been wrong about me, Lex. I'm as human as anyone. I love, I get scared. I wake up every morning and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other and I try to make the best choices I can. I screw up all the time. But that is being human.
And I like that. It was really emotional. Superman made me feel something. Something Man of Steel could not make me do. Superman made you feel like being a better person. Man of Steel made you feel like, wow, if I was in that city, I'd die. I'm not making it out of that. There was probably millions of people, if not hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people that died in Man of Steel. But I can count on one hand how many people died in Superman. That just shows the contrast of the Superman, and that's why I like it more. And as I said, forgettable characters. Man of Steel had so many forgettable characters. I can't remember any of their names besides like Lois Lane and his. Oh, a highlight about Man of Steel. I did like the development with his dad, and I was like, "Oh, you're not my real dad. I don't know why I listened to you." And then at the end, his dad. It's not the end, but his dad does die, and he's like, "No, Dad, no." So you see that character development, which you only see the character development in Superman. No one else in Man of Steel, but in Superman, you get all his characters, all these interesting and well fleshed out characters. Like my favorite character besides like Superman being Mr. Fantastic. The song choices in this movie were phenomenal. James Gunn knows how to do that. The song choices. And it has a really upbeat song over a fight scene. And I don't know if you've ever heard the song 5 Years Time by Noah and the Whale. It's really upbeat. It's like a love song, kind of. And this guy's just whooping everyone while doing it. While that song's in the background.
I am giving you one last chance to stop!
I was just about to say the same to you.
While that song's in the background. And I thought that scene was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. I think that is my favorite scene in the movie. And there's just, in both movies, there's so many characters, but only in Superman, James Gunn, are the characters memorable. Like, in Superman, in Man of Steel, his parents are the good guys. But in Superman, his parents are bad. But then, in the movie, they're like, your parents don't control who you are. They don't make who you are. They just try to direct you into who you can become. And I love that narrative. That was an amazing scene between Superman and his dad. And the thing I love the most about this new Superman movie is he's always obsessing over his real parents, his Kryptonian parents. And he's like, and to relax him, he watches this videotape back that, it's his parents saying, "Oh, you're destined for great things." But then later in the movie, it's like discovered his parents are like, "Oh, you're destined for great things. You should get some concubines and many wives while you're here on this planet and conquer the planet." And it's revealed his parents aren't very good. And so he at the end of the movie, they're like, "Hey, son, heal Superman." Probably should have said that a while ago. The son heals Superman, and while he's healing at the end of the movie, they're like, "Oh, we'll put some memories on your parents." He goes, "Oh, that'd be nice." And instead of his Kryptonian parents, it's his Earth parents, and it's just showing memories of his childhood, when he was happy in his childhood. And I thought that scene was so inspirational. It was so it was a very good scene for the end of the movie, and I just love that. I know this is a little late. This is like a year late, but I just love that movie so much. And that's why Superman 2025 is better than Man of Steel 2013. Sorry, Zack Snyder, but you can suck it. And James Gunn, thank you for this masterpiece and for the amazing song choices. Didn't know James Gunn also did direct, I'm pretty sure, all 3 Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which had banger song choices as well. But yeah, I will keep in mind, though, that they both take place in different parts of Superman's life. Like, Man of Steel takes place when he is starting to be Superman. Like, he just started to be Superman. Wow. The Superman 2025 takes place like 3 months after he's already been Superman. I'm pretty sure. I think or it could be longer. I think 3 months was just him and Lois's relationship. So he's been Superman for a little while. People know who he is. Like, he has fans. And enemies, of course. So I will keep that in mind. But at the end of the day, Superman's just a better movie. I'm sorry, Zack Snyder. Sorry. That's about it. If you're wondering which one was better, Superman. Of course. I think everyone would agree on that. If you don't, you're a troglodyte and a dummy. Alright, I'll see you.